Okay, well, so let's have, so all four of you, will all four of you possibly use this?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have everybody come up and.
Everybody's gonna get trained.
That way.
Tyler does. Everybody's gonna get trained on it,
And
so
so
they all.
it'd probably be easier for you over there.
Okay.
So if you guys want, okay, remind me of names. I'll have to use them 5
I'm
times.
Gina.
Say it again.
Gina.
Gina.
Carol.
Carol.
Jeannie.
Gina.
Katarina.
Okay.
Donna.
I'm not going to remember that.
Katarina. Call
You
her
have to put it in the
Cat.
name tag.
Call her Cat.
Cat, okay. So if you guys want, this, we'll go through general features first and then we'll start going through everything. Okay, the cool part, if any of you guys have ever known, so this is called a combotherm for a reason, meaning combi. It has combination elements to it. So it has a steam element, it has a combination element, which is convection and steam together, and it has a straight convection, like you guys remember the old convection ovens that you open and it goes whirr and just blasts you. These don't do that. These are really, really cool. So the main features, so you have your touchscreen panel, you have your double action door handle, so you've got to go one direction and then the other to open it. Okay, the whole purpose of that is that if you are in steam mode, it rises up, it doesn't blast you right in the face. Then you have the hideaway door, which is a great feature, so that you have the ability to not back into these things where they burn you. Okay, the other cool part about the door, this is me as a chef loving this, is the easy maintenance feature of that it keeps it very cleanable. So you want to be able to see what's going on in there. How many times have you seen those ovens where they start getting black and carbon build up? These won't do that for you because you can keep them clean. Okay, and this is a hardy piece of equipment. There's nothing wrong with you slamming that door. They're very durable. They're designed for commercial use, so don't be afraid of those doors. Then inside the piece of equipment is you have some very minor features. So you've got your drain and everything on the bottom. Obviously your racks and everything here, and you'll notice there's numbers on these, and we'll get to the importance of what those numbers represent down the road. The last part is your probe. If you guys are very comfortable, if you're looking for that where you can place an item in the oven and go and move on to something else, this is one of your best
That's
friends.
fantastic. We don't have to pull it out and check temp every
Okay.
15
The only
minutes.
part about your internal probe is, again, just make sure that thing is kept clean. It's really easy to do. The other part, and do you know, is that this is completely connected, water supply and everything into it. So the other part is you have your, and it may not do it if the water's off, but you have a sprayer water source. One of the things, I was blessed with being 6'2", that most people that work in the kitchen aren't. And if you think about it, when you're 6'2", generally God blesses you with a little bit of muscle and strength too. My wife takes advantage of it all the time. But the idea is, anytime you're doing like your carrot coins or anything that needs water to it to steam, or anything you're going to, if you're making rice or anything like that, you don't have to load that thing up and walk around with water in something everywhere. We know it gets hot. So this is potable water. As you can bring it over here on your cart, fill the water to what you want, and put that back away and throw it into your system.
That's
so great
fantastic.
feature. Yeah, it's really cool. The other cool part about it is if something overflows and something spills or whatever, you don't have to pull all the whole rack out and do everything. You can take that and hose the system down. So it has a lot of
You
great
can do
features.
it while everything's hot in there too.
Yes, you
It
can.
does not matter.
Yes, you can. Nope, it's
Awesome.
not going to do anything. So it's a great feature. All right. So any questions on any of that? And if we need to go back, ask me. We'll go back. It's fine. I'm here to. I want you to be comfortable with this thing when you leave.
That is stuff we can utilize.
I want you to be here till I try to open this inside window.
Yep.
Is it working
And you
this
gotta
way?
be. Yep. You gotta be forceful with it. So yep, is push it and pull that bottom out a little bit. Now do that one. There you go.
Hey, good job.
Okay.
Yep.
It's one of those things is everybody thinks glass, so you think, oh, I gotta be delicate.
Throw it, put
But
And
it
it's
this is-
back.
tempered heat
Push it hard.
glass, so you just push it hard and it'll lock in. Okay, and the only thing is when you're pushing in, see how your hand is real close to that clip? Keep them out in here and push so you don't get any skin pinched in there.
Okay,
All right, so pull it out the whole way.
yours.
All right. Now, so
I'm gonna zoom in on this.
you're fine. So you have your power feature.
Oh, it takes a minute for
Yeah,
it to.
it's gonna take a minute.
That would fake this out in the beginning.
like, oh my God, it's not
So
coming
if you
in.
guys want, go ahead, let's close the other one, get the other ones on, and then we'll work everybody at the same time.
Ron, you wanna
And
come
let me
over and
grab
look
my
at this?
glasses.
I'll let you do it since I'm up there.
So that just turns it on,
Yeah,
correct?
top button on top, nope, just the top only.
Katarina,
And
you
gotta
wanna
let it
turn
set
that
up.
one on?
It'll go.
Okay.
See how the top one on the left is? See the screen on the left on the top?
See, I'm not getting that.
That's how it'll come up once it
Details.
gets situated. Takes a minute.
Okay, I got that.
Sorry guys.
I zoomed way in so we could get that.
And I've gone through some life changes. So, gotta have them.
That's when it
Okay,
happens.
so everybody has them on, so we'll wait for that main screen to come up.
I'm zoomed in on that so I can see what you're doing
Good.
and what you're.
All right, everybody good? So, come up here, so you see, you have these 4 icons. It's just like your cell phone, pretending these are an app, okay? The chef's hat is your general cooking process. And when you look at the cooking process, you see this little one with the cloud up top. What do you think that is?
Steam.
And that's natural, that it's filling and getting where it needs to go. The one in the middle where you see the heat rising and the steam, what do you think that is? Combo.
Yeah.
And the one on the left obviously would be convection. So what you're looking at is whatever mode that you want it in. All right, so we'll see the first one we're set on steam. Below that you see the thermostat. So at any point if we wanted to change that temperature, if I only wanted it 185, I can change it to that. And these things you've got to touch. You know, if you're just this, I mean, you see what I mean? It's not doing a whole lot. You've really got to touch. Okay, the other part too is with these, at any point, if you're using it and you feel like you've hit something wrong or you made a mistake, it's okay. And look for the go back arrow or the home button. You can use either of those to go back to where you need to. So with this, we're back to the steam. We've got our temperature. Now we've got our time. And then you see that part with the little arrow pointing down into it right here? So that's my probe function. So if I want to set something to go to a specific internal temperature, that's where I would select that. So say we want to do something for 10 minutes. And if I need to add seconds, oh sorry. So if we're going to select it for 10 minutes, it'll put that on there for you. If you're wondering, it right here says hours, minutes, and seconds. So you can select that, pick the time that you want to do it for, and then the fan and some of these other things, these other buttons that you see, those are for additional features. They'll highlight themselves as you get to them. But you remember earlier when we talked about these rack numbers? So right here is where that rack number comes into play. As you see over here, a bunch of lines and a clock. You see that? Okay. So when I touch that, you'll see it shows 1 through 7. Right here is 1 through 7.
That is
If
awesome.
I wanted to take and throw it, if I needed to steam some potatoes and some green beans at the same time, might say I put my green beans on rack 3 for 12 minutes. And I want my potatoes to go for 20 minutes, and they're going to be on rack 6. Okay.
That is awesome.
So, and it has them set for you. We're here.
Where was that
and-
at again? I'm
Okay, good
videotaping
question.
in that.
So right here,
Okay.
you see the clock
Yep.
and the lines.
Clock and lines.
Yep.
Pick your rack, set your time. Got
Yep.
ya.
So then all you would do is close it, hit the green button and start. It will not start while the machine is open. So you don't have to worry about that type of situation happening. Okay? Now, so let's clear this out. So let's start there. So everybody is in. Let's go into our steam mode. Right
Okay.
ahead. So let's go into our steam mode.
Yeah.
Let's
We
go-
leave it at 212.
Katerina, start from the bottom one, no?
Here, so,
Yeah, that way you're starting from fresh.
so you leave your steamer at 212, set it for 15 minutes. Okay, and you see how the green gets real bright then on the where that, and that green button is what you would hit to start it. We're not going to do that now because you had a great question from the very beginning, so we'll go to that one. Okay, that green play, you don't have to hit it now, but that's all you would do is hit that green start button, and it would start setting the steam for you.
How long is the preheat on these? Not long.
So it'll tell you that it's not very long. It generally like 8 to 10 minutes if you're coming in cold. If you're walking in first thing in the morning and you want to get things going, this is just me.
Katerina,
I walk in
I'm taping. Thank you, honey.
at 3:50. I would take my timer and set it to an hour and just do it there. We'll get to what the CNT is just in a minute, but I would walk in, it might put, have it, you can have that set as that's where you want it. It has 30 minutes as the default, but you walk in, hit your convection, and hit start. Now, what this is showing you is, that's 79, what do you think that is?
That's the temp.
That's your current temperature right now. Now, if you were in a sprint and you needed to hurry up and maybe you're like, oh crap, I've got a steam in this oven right now, not convection. I hit my start, or my stop, and then I hit my stop again. You hear it shuts right down. So it's basically saying, okay, I stopped. Are you sure you want to stop? Yes, hit it again. So that's what I would
What
do.
did you hit? I'm sorry, I missed it. Oh, just that button.
So that red.
And the
So
time
just think
screen?
red is
Right,
stop,
twice.
green is
Right,
go.
the timer was this one I missed.
Okay, and then the timer up here. So
Right.
just think of your clock. So you got your temperature, your time. This is your fan speed, and then this here will be if we want to add anything else to it. Okay, so I would walk in, get that going, and just let that go. If you're going to be using all four, obviously you want to do that with all four. Okay, nothing too extravagant about the convection. Okay, so now when we're in convection, you see that the CNT, what that stands for is crisp and tasty. So when you're doing your French fries, when you're doing something that needs brown, when you're doing something that like a roast or something like that, that you need some on the outside, you'll see that it's set at 4 out of 5. I don't know that they ever have to do 5 out of 5, but generally it's at 4. You see that I can touch that and it decreases the amount. Go ahead and touch that on your guys so you see it. So you got to go to convection first. Yep. And the more you touch it, the lower it goes down, and then we'll restart. You see that on yours? So you got to put it in convection mode first.
It's a far.
Yep. So you can push. Yeah, you can see. You can push it. See, now it goes down to 3.
Oh, I push it up.
You just keep pushing it. There you go.
I go down.
So 4 is your default. That's your standard, like if you're doing your nuggets or chicken patties or fries or anything like that. Okay. So any questions on that? Exact same feature that if I have something on shelf 2 and something on shelf 6, I'm cooking at the same temperature but different times. What it'll do is that when, say I have program 3 to go off first, program 3 will go off. It'll sound and make you aware that that's off. You'll open, shut, we'll remove that item, shut it, and then as you shut it, the second one continues to recover the temperature and then continue to cook that way. Okay. Any questions on those? Right, so now combi mode. So what we're looking at combi mode, so that would be your one in the middle, is this is just from a chef perspective. I'm not going to say a manufacturer perspective. Generally, your steam is going to be, I'm going to use that for my vegetables, things like that. If I have potatoes that I've got to rush with it, maybe I steam them first to soften them and then finish them browning. Is that combi mode would be that product in the middle. So if I want to do just like roasted potatoes from start to finish, that's where I'm going to use that combi mode. If I'm going to do my vegetables, I'm going to use my steam, and if I'm going to use most of my proteins, I'm going to do that in the convection mode independently. Okay, so in this mode, exact same thing, still temperature control. You can select what it is that you want it on, the time that you want it to function for, this is the amount of relative humidity and moisture that's inside the system, because if you remember, a lot of people think steam is moisture. It's actually not. It's actually, it's a dry air. It's switching from water to a vapor or an air product in a sense. That's where you guys have heard these new things about air fryers, that type of concept. Exact same thing, but at a massive commercial level. It's really, really cool. And then underneath that, so we'll get here. So what we're looking at is that if you want to create an economy or express situation, not a lot of folks use this, but they like this feature more in a restaurant setting. This is that type of thing where if I'm going from a prime rib to a flan to baking a cake to whatever, they can speed set some of those things that adjust everything.
Oh, have it all set
that they
up.
don't have to remember. Oh
Hit
my God,
cake mode, hit.
Yeah, they don't, and it might be, maybe you remember it's at 10%, you're like, well, no, I think it's at 12% humidity. You might say, no, it's at 15. You don't have to worry about that. You can program it in there for you so you know.
So what's the average, most of the dishes are gonna be at what percent humidity?
So,
Most of them.
I would actually leave it right where it's at.
Okay.
It's actually standard set. So what you actually have is in this program, there is a K through 12 and called K through 12 CNU.
Okay.
So high school, middle school, high school, college, and university standard setting in here. If you guys got that and didn't like that, we have the ability that we can
Reprogram.
right here download it and reprogram what it is that you want in there. It's a USB port feature. Okay.
The
Because
lux.
you could use it for the recipes. Like,
Exactly.
okay.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
So that's everything with the cooking process.
Oh, I had a question.
Yep, sure, go
If
ahead.
you go back to the
Yep.
regular convection mode,
Okay.
do you have the opportunity to just give it a burst of steam? There was an on-demand steam thing that we used to use. Is that an option for that?
That you would use that in the combi mode. It's not going to be in the
Okay.
convection mode at
Okay.
all. So can you give me an idea where you think you would use that?
Well, we used to use it, I don't remember, it was a couple of years ago. You could have a burst of steam. And say you're reheating a pizza
Yeah.
and
Give it
you
some
wanted to get it
moisture.
cooked, but then, you didn't want it to dry out so much, so you just put a little of the burst of the steam in there and it happened a little bit.
So you could do that here. Say it's 12 minutes that you're supposed to cook it overall. Because you could do 10 minutes here, switch it over to combi and do the last 2 minutes there.
Okay, so you do combi
Yep.
for it, okay.
Yep. That's a great question though. Okay, anybody else have any other questions on this part? Okay, so we're gonna play around for a minute. Let's go back to the home screen. So if all of you can come up and pick one. All right.
I'll be like, oh, gosh.
So
Little
little
house.
house, there you go, that works too, or the arrow. Okay, so we're gonna do roasted red potatoes, okay? That we wanna do them in one process, start to finish. So what would we pick?
You can't get. No, you're good.
So probably combi mode, right?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay, now we need to cook them for 30 minutes at 350 degrees.
Carol, I'm taping you. Perfect.
Okay.
Beautiful. Right?
Yep, the only one was here, so you've got 40 minutes.
Oh, you just hit the wrong
It's
number,
okay.
honey.
It's fine. Okay, so what would our next step be?
Start.
Green start. Okay, what if I realize I messed up and I need to change this to 25 minutes?
You hit the stop again and go back, change it, and start again.
Just hit the
Okay,
time.
now what if I didn't hit start yet? What would I do?
Oh, then
Hit
you
the
just go
time.
back to your time.
Yep.
You want to put in?
Not the temp, Katerina, the time.
So think about your cooking
Oh, she's
process
cleaning.
first, Kat. What cooking process are we going to use? There you go. And then,
Oh.
yeah, don't do 3
300 hours.
So 30 minutes. Clear everything. There you go. Now.
Well,
Yep. 30 minutes. And then what temperature did we talk about?
350.
Yep.
And I put on 350.
You did not.
When you exit it out of it, it goes back to its default.
Why is that weird defaults for them? One's 338, one's 302.
It's going to be different for each piece of equipment, just on whenever everything was downloaded, just what it set up as the
Okay,
default.
I was just
I
curious.
never ever, I just ignore the default
did.
because it's one of those things of, it could be, if you think about it too, something may be shipped, there might be parts or pieces, especially digital, that come from overseas.
Okay.
They've got to transfer things from a UK format to
Oh,
a
yeah.
United States format, so the person that programmed that might just,
Okay.
pick 303,
Just
someone might pick
curious.
308,
Yeah,
that kind of
okay.
thing.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, our roasted potatoes are done. We've got chicken nuggets and fries to do at the exact same time. Okay, and we want to do the fries, we're doing both at 325. We want to do the fries for 10 minutes. We want to do the nuggets for 12 minutes. So always start with what's your cooking process first.
Top, it would be the top.
Are you gonna
Yes,
use
got it,
convection or
got
combi?
What temperature
Right.
did you say, 325?
Okay, now,
325.
325,
Okay, touch the thermometer.
Oh,
okay.
Yep.
And then you got two different,
You got two different
You have to go
times.
to
You
list.
down to this one?
Right.
right, you have to go to that,
what time?
So we're gonna put the fries on what, rack
So-
one? Okay.
I haven't.
It's okay. It's okay.
Good
This is
job.
what we're
And
here for.
then,
And then the
Okay,
chicken's
so you
gonna
wanna
be
pick a
20 minutes,
specific
say?
time.
when it is.
Whatever.
So we're gonna go here. Yep.
But you get the idea.
10 minutes
I don't
or
remember.
12.
10 and 12.
10 and 12, what?
We messed it up, but she gets the
It's
idea.
okay,
It's like
it's okay. The
that.
cool part is you're not gonna burn any food today. We're just
There.
playing.
Hey, we have
I went
ways of
back
doing
and
all
checked
kinds
some.
of weird stuff
Oh, did I
here.
have to do shelf 4?
Even without food, we can
You
burn
can
it.
have
Okay.
It doesn't matter, it just
Now-
depends where you put
Now,
it.
this is me
Whatever it
being,
was.
this is me being picky. So the two of you that are done are right, and one of you is almost right. But let's think about health department. If you're cooking two
You can't-
products
you
in
have to
there.
have your chicken
if
on the
you're-
bottom.
Exactly.
Meat's
If
gotta
you
be
have
on the
your-
bottom,
Your
always.
protein should be on the bottom, your starch should
But
be
she
on the
said the
top.
chicken was 10, right?
Yeah, no, the chicken was 12 minutes, the fries were 10.
Oh, see, Paul?
Yeah, we just guess
Reversed
times,
it.
so
Okay.
you're all right, Carol. You're
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
it's fine. It's just making
I
sure.
But
had
that's
a
that you-
good
20,
to
I
point
had a
out.
12.
That's okay.
Yeah, meat has
That's
to be
why
on
we're
the
doing this,
bottom
to play
always.
around, So you can.
But I did say meat went on the bottom.
In coolers,
Now-
freezers,
Check
and
and see
when
what-
cooking, meat's always on the bottom, guys. Always on the
Okay.
bottom.
So.
Okay.
Because if
and-
it drips, then
Right.
So
it
Yeah.
contaminates.
if you were gonna change that to where the nuggets are 10 and the fries are 12.
Just up here.
There you go.
There you go, that's
See?
perfect.
Easy, easy, easy.
Absolutely perfect. So all you would do is hit your check mark and get out of there, because that means you're confirming it. Okay, and then the next thing to do would be what?
Here.
Green start. Okay. Now, Kat, say you accidentally started it. What would you need to do to get out of that?
Oh,
Red means
Yeah.
What does red mean? Okay, so now it holds it. Now you want to get completely out of it. So what would you do?
Press it again.
And you can hit it again. Yep. Can you hear how that shuts everything down?
I'm sorry.
You're good. You heard it shut
Yeah.
down.
Did you hear how it's not making noise now?
and it's back to green. So
You're okay.
red, you have to hit red twice.
You just started it again.
There you go. And
Now
now
it's done.
it's
That's
gonna be
clear.
ready to start when you hit green.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm having fun with her. She's fun.
Yeah,
It's okay. So
she's in.
all we're
she's-
saying is, say you hit start, you don't have to wait for there. You can hit it here and there again, and it'll stop and bring it back to there for
Okay,
you.
Green means go,
Yeah,
red means stop.
Green means it's going, red means it's stopping.
okay,
Okay? Everything else you did absolutely perfect.
okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna do, let's do some broccoli for probably 10 to 12 minutes. You can pick 10 to 12 minutes.
What temperature?
Well,
Broccoli.
that's a great
We're gonna do
question.
Broccoli, so what are you gonna, how you gonna cook it?
In the steam?
Okay, so go to steam.
I
Steam
will.
is
We don't
boiling,
mix it.
so you want it at 212.
Okay,
212.
oh, 212, okay.
Now,
It'll
if
just
you-
come up automatically
If you
unless you
have
want
any
it.
more delicate, if I'm doing this in a restaurant and I want to
Oh.
make sure I maintain integrity, if I'm doing, if you had to do
Yes.
peas and you had to do broccoli,
Well,
which one is more dense and going to need more cooking time?
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
Okay, but generally, when we generally steam vegetables about the same amount of time. if you wanted to make sure those peas weren't mush and they still stayed green, I would steam, but I would consider dropping it down to 200 or 190. It's still going to cook them, it's still going to steam them, but they're more
That's
delicate piece of,
slower.
you know, so it's not going to be as aggressive with them. This is where you guys tweaking it. I mean, the school district I was at, yeah.
If you were doing 2 different vegetables and you didn't want it to go as long, could you do your rack thing?
You could do your
absolutely
racking.
can. Yep.
Okay.
So that's 2 options. You can
Yeah.
adjust the temp or the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So, and you guys did fantastic on that. That's great. And what questions do you have?
Is there
Tell me
anything
what
else
ma-
we need to know? These guys have used it more than me.
Yeah, there's a couple things
I
you still
have
need to know.
Yeah.
I'll leave it
Me
on.
and you.
Turn it on, leave it on.
Okay, so you would just go to convection, clear that out,
Okay,
okay? And then put your temp. And just go.
okay, so if you don't have a time on there, it'll keep going.
Yep,
Perfect, okay.
okay?
Anything else, Jeannie?
Now,
Because you use that the most.
Now,
out of
the thing I
everybody.
would say, if I left today, and you sit there and think, I mean,
gonna
literally,
leave-
if I
you are
left,
gonna
well,
leave
trying
today.
to.
You're gonna
trying to.
leave eventually.
Say I leave 5 minutes from now, and you're like, oh crap, what about this? What about that? Think about those things, and we're gonna keep moving. Ask me questions. I'll give you my cards too. You guys can call me at any time,
Okay.
so don't worry about that.
Good.
Another thing I want to say, guys, is with stuff like this, and anytime you use a digital or computer or tech-wise, read the screen. It all makes sense if you take a minute and read it, and it may take a few extra minutes the first few times you do it, and once you learn what everything is, you're just gonna pick it up. So don't get flustered, read the screen, take your time, what makes sense, and that's what you do.
Exactly. You can't break this. Don't worry about that.
What is the press and go and then the
Yep,
fork
I'm
and
gonna show
plate?
you that.
I know the other one's for yours.
The only other thing that I want to make sure we touch base on is some locations will take and put aluminum foil or a pan or
Oh,
something
God,
like that on the
no.
bottom because they think, oh, I'm going to protect the drain. That drain serves more than a function than just a drain. When you have humidity, moisture, all of that stuff, if you look, there aren't many holes for things to come out of. That's one of those areas that it regulates the humidity and the moisture inside the system. You just want to make sure that that area is kept clean, and you want to make sure that there's no debris about it or around it, rinse it, all that kind of stuff. To remove these, you'll see that they actually have that anti-tip factor. So if you've got a half pan or something in here and you're just bringing this top one out so you can get to that,
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
not going to tip out on you. The other part too is these are removable. If you want to take them out and clean them, that's up to you. It's if you look at if you want to open yours, if you look in the back. Okay, you see at the very top of them, there's a little pin. See that little pin coming down in the post that's coming
Yeah.
down into the piece of equipment? So all you have to do is lift up on them, pull the bottom out, and they slide right out. You just have to make sure you put the pin back in the way it goes and make sure your number is facing out to the front.
So, but generally, we've been cleaning automatically,
Yep,
so that.
and that's, we're gonna get that, so you really won't have to do that
And you know-
very often.
We're so careful too, like we don't make a big mess in those. We really don't. They stay pretty clean.
Okay, so next you have looks like a book or your cookbook.
Yes.
See if they have anything. So I'm gonna have to call and get that code real quick, and it'll download the cookbook for you.
Oh, thank you.
Each location is different. So what you'll see in the cookbook is that it'll have little pictures of of mac and cheese, nuggets, all those types of things. You can just hit
Pizza.
that. You can hit that, go right to it, touch it, temp, time, and everything's already set for you, ready to go.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's supposed to.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah.
It's a huge selling feature because it really everybody says that they use that one touch. It's not one touch. It's technically two. You gotta open one to get in here
Yeah.
and one to pick what it is that you want.
So we have
And then
nothing
another one to
uploaded into
start.
that menu
Yep, I
already?
have that taken care of.
Thank you so much.
Let's actually look.
I thought we did have something in the menu, didn't we?
Well, they could have taken the USB from like another school and downloaded the recipes, but no, they must not have. Like, or you could have put them
We
in by
did.
yourself when we first got it.
So it will let me do it.
So this only connects to the internet USB. It's not like a Bluetooth oven.
Correct.
Can start it at home.
Okay,
from
there we
my-
go.
Oh, we do have
Yeah,
menus.
so
Okay, good.
sometimes they're left universal, so you can do it. If you go into the cookbook,
Highlight
into
chocolate.
settings,
chip cookies.
cookbook's down here, there's your K through 12.
Go to cookbook. The middle one is the cookbook. There you go.
There you go. And we'll get to this one in just a second, but it has both options for you. These are categories. These are specifics that you can go up and down through.
And then these are your favorites, or
Yep.
that you use the most?
Yep, so if you have something,
How did, Carol, how did you guys get to that?
So this?
Yes. No, the menu, it's everything there from your homepage. How did you get
Oh,
there?
homepage, here,
Oh,
Here.
easy. Okay,
and
thank
then
you.
you can scroll.
I missed that one little part, how we got there. Okay.
And these were your categories.
yep, those are your
And then
categories.
this is your actual download, and these are your favorites.
So nice.
Yes. This is your little search button if you're looking for something you can't find. I just know that's what I use on my
It's probably still downloading it. Some of them can take.
Do they all need to be updated individually? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
See, this one's downloading your individuals.
This is the same thing here. Yeah, yours doesn't have anything on there. Pass
There
over?
it is.
Okay.
Yay!
So this one hasn't done it yet either.
Great. Awesome. Okay.
Way to go. Wait, that's probably what was most impressive
Oh,
right
that's
there.
awesome. I know, they're awesome. Okay, so any questions on those?
Nope.
All right.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
One of them you had like a pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like two different choices, like the buffalo pizza. It had like a 3 and then a 2. See, there's one pan, and then they had another one
So
that
these
had.
ones are showing individuals,
Okay.
and then the buffalo. There's one.
Okay. Yeah, like 6 pans. So if you had 6 pans in here, you can hit that,
Mhm.
and then it would know how to.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So let's pick it and just watch what it. So see what it's showing you is 450 degrees for 3 minutes. Now the big thing is you want to make sure that you understand what that product is.
So you're not just saying it's buffalo pizza and it's not
Right.
matching.
Right. Because you want to find out.
Yeah, how do you know
does that
that?
say an individual or does it say a